voters because he's neck and neck with the front runners, Joe Biden and Elizabeth Warren. That's the front runners now. Who knows what's coming? But we know who's coming right now. So please welcome back Senator Bernie Sanders.
Did you do that?
Yeah,
I did.
That's joy all over.
Sorry.
I'm going to have to explain this to my wife. You got me in trouble already.
So, B.
Yes, Whoopi.
What's up? Why is this different than the last time? Why is this day different?
Well, it's different for a couple of reasons. Last time, essentially, I was running against one candidate. Now we got about 20 candidates out there. And the second way it is different, and I'm pretty proud of it, is that many of the ideas that I talked about 4 years ago when I was on this show, when I talked about raising that minimum wage to $15 an hour, making public colleges and universities tuition-free, canceling student debt, and looking at health care as a human right. What am I doing here?
Keep talking, because...
Keep talking.
The chair,
Stand up. Stand up.
Keep talking, Bernie.
Yeah.
That's B-roll.
So,
Okay, and making health care a human right, not a privilege, and guaranteeing health care to all people, those ideas 4 years ago were perceived to be radical. And today you find that a lot of candidates and a majority of the American people agreeing with that. And I think the American people, Whoopi, now understand that there's something wrong when 3 people in America own more wealth than the bottom half of American society. And in the midst of that massive income and wealth inequality, half of the people in our country are living paycheck to paycheck, struggling. Am I right about that?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if your car breaks down, if you get sick, people are scared to death. This is the wealthiest country on earth. We should not be in that
You would
position.
think that, given what you just said, that they would be voting in droves and mass amounts, and I don't see that.
Well,
A lot of people don't vote.
and that's a very good point, Joy, and I think
Thanks.
a lot of... You're welcome.
Should we leave you two by yourself?
Yeah. Now, you guys can stick around. That's all right. No, but the point there is I think a lot of people are discouraged and disillusioned. And really what I think goes on in American politics, you got millions of working people who say, you know what, I can't afford health care. I can't afford child care. I can't afford to send my kids to college. I'm paying 40, 50% of my income in rent. Does anyone pay any attention to me?
They think their vote doesn't count, I think, is why they don't vote. But
They feel
I
like
agree
both
with
parties
you.
are not going to help them.
Yeah,
That's right.
And I agree with you, Senator. I think your ideas were, you've been a vanguard in that sense. And people were saying that the things that you were saying were just crazy.
Yes.
And let's talk about then Senator Elizabeth Warren, because not only is she a friend of yours, she shares a lot of the same ideas that you came out with first. She's saying Medicare for all, free public college, the Green New Deal. Is there enough room in the party for both of you? Because are you now in danger of splitting the vote and giving Joe Biden a clear path to the nomination?
Well, Sonny, Elizabeth is a friend of mine. She and I have known each other for well over 20 years. And she's going to run her campaign, and I will run my campaign. I think and feel very good about the campaign for, among other reasons, that at the end of the day, the way you win in politics is not through TV ads and radio ads. You win through door-to-door campaigning, people getting on the phone call. We have well over 1 million volunteers. We have more contributions coming into our campaign, averaging all of $19, I should say, low contributions, for more people than any candidate in the history of American politics. So I think we got that grassroots support to win the election.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? Andrew Yang was here and made perfect sense to me. And I haven't heard really anybody else in the party, whatever party we're talking about, say, hey, do you realize that if Facebook and Amazon and all the other gigantic corporations paid any tax, we could find some relief for regular Americans.
Sure.
Do you agree with that?
Of course I do. I've been talking about that for years.
Well, no, I haven't. When Andrew came on and sort of broke it down, what he suggested, and I'm sure you know this because you've been spending time with him, but his idea was, you know, if one of those companies gave every American $1,000, people's lives would change. What do you think of such an idea?
But this is what I think.
Okay.
I think that right now, when you have Donald Trump and his friends giving well over $1 trillion in tax breaks to the 1% and large profitable corporations, I think that's obscene.
Right, but will you change that?
Of course I'll change it.
That's
Well, how do I know this?
Because I've been talking about it for 25 years.
Well, you haven't. Not for me. Not like this.
No.
Yeah.
But look.
It's a little different.
What you got right now, Whoopi, this is what you got. You got Amazon, owned by the wealthiest guy in America, made over $10 billion in profit last year. Do you know what they paid in federal income tax?
Nothing.
Not a penny.
Yeah, I know.
That's insane.
I know. So what I'm asking you is it your position that these corporations, all of these big corporations will now, if you're elected president, one of the things you're going to make sure that they do is they pay their fair share, and that will trickle to the American people.
That's at the very top of my agenda. Absolutely.
that's his-
Absolutely.
I don't, you know, I don't really know because, you know, I've watched you over the last several years and I've had lots of questions about what you want to do. So
Yang's also talking about giving every American money.
yes.
All right, but I'm talking about giving every American a job, which I think is terribly important. We have an enormous amount of work to be done in this country in terms of climate change to transform our energy system away from fossil fuel. We're talking about creating up to 20 million good-paying jobs.
Yeah.
We're talking about rebuilding our crumbling infrastructure. We're talking about building the millions of units of affordable housing
But everybody
that this
does.
country
Everybody
desperately...
says that, Bernie.
No.
Everybody
Well, in
says
all
we're
due
gonna do it.
respect, I think the agenda that I am bringing forth is the most progressive agenda ever brought forth by any candidate, serious candidate running for president of the United States.
Can I pronounce? Okay, you want to ask a question? I just want to ask something on that point because Nancy Pelosi is now saying that the moderate is the one that basically is the most elected.
Well, I love Nancy, but she and I disagree on this issue. I think the way you beat Donald Trump, and I must say that in my view, Donald Trump is the most dangerous president probably in the history of this country.
We agree.
And it gives me no pleasure to say this. It really does not, because I have conservative friends who I like and respect. But Trump
Can I hear any in Congress or the Senate? I'm generally curious about bipartisanship. Can you name one?
Johnny Isakson of Georgia, who's recently retired.
I was like, he's retired.
Johnny is your dad was somebody I work with.
But they're dead and now not. It's
Johnny is
anymore.
not dead.
I know, but he's not. He's leaving. He's
Leaving. They
retiring.
resign. They retire.
Look, even somebody like a George W. Bush, who was a very conservative
anyone
guy.
in office that if you were president, that you would work with on the other side.
Lamar Alexander.
Okay.
All right. Lamar is head of the committee that I'm on, the Health, Education, Labor Committee. Lamar is a conservative Republican. Lamar is not a liar. Lamar is not a sexist. He's not a racist. He's not a homophobe. He's a conservative guy. It's called American politics. So I, work with your dad. I work with other people on issues where we can come together. That's what I think American politics is supposed to be about. But you have a president today, and again, it gives me no joy to say this. He is a pathological liar.
Yeah.
And when people ask me, what do you think about what Trump said 5 minutes ago in a tweet, I say, I'm not going to say anything because 10 minutes from now he's going to change his view. I can't comment. This is not the kind of temperament or personality that we should have in the White House, in my view.
True.
Absolutely. So you're staying. You want to stay a little bit longer?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, it's
So
great.
we're coming back with more with Bernie Sanders when we come back.